Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I have Manuela coming over and Matt, and they're going to pick up their giant mall ficus trees. I have only 2 of the giant mall ficus left. So Ross took a larger one, so the smaller one is left over here and Matt is going to take that. And then the wall ficus over here is for Manuela. We're going down to -1 degree Celsius on Sunday night. So they're going to pick them up before it freezes outside here, 1 degree below freezing. The only way of protecting them would be to cut them back and bring them in the plant room. In the meantime, we've been getting down to some pretty cold temperatures at night with a risk of frost, so I've been putting this tarp over top of the trees to protect them until they get picked up. There was a high demand for these mall ficuses to convert them into large size bonsai, and I decided I don't really need a giant ficus. I have a lot of ficus on the go and I'm very happy with the ones I have. I do, however, have a call into the mall manager. There was a lot of medium-sized ones in the storage room, and I'm going to see if they'll part with a few more of those because there's a high demand for these trees, taking these giant trees and reducing them to bonsai. So hopefully I'll get a more medium-sized one in the future. Today I'm trying out some stands underneath some of my possible show trees. So I have a stand that looks nice under the Frankenficus. I have a stand that looks nice under the cedar forest here. I tried out my Norfolk Island pine forest on top of this stand and it looks quite nice. It fits it nicely. I was trying out ones with my root over temple here. This is a stand that Connor gave me, bamboo stand. And I've got some other of the larger stands that I'll be trying out with some more of my forests. It's quite rare to find books of bonsai that show the trees with the stands underneath them. This is one by Amy Lang, is it? Lang? And there's a lot of stands displayed underneath the trees here. So I put a couple of books out for Matt to have a look at. There's Men Lung Penjing by Wu Yi Sun. That's a good one. It has a stand under almost every tree in the book. So it's really fantastic. It gives you a good idea of how the different stands look under different trees. The misting system in the greenhouse has been working fantastically. There's an added benefit I found is that at the nighttime I bring all my tropicals into the greenhouse because it's getting cool at nights now. Just to keep them warm, I have the heat on. And I found that because my misting system controls are here, I can fill the floor of the greenhouse up and then I just have to turn on the switch here and everything in the greenhouse gets watered, which is just fantastic because you can't get back there to water the ones in the corner with all the plants in the aisleway. So it's really nice just to be able to flip a switch and everything in the entire greenhouse gets watered. It's just fantastic. So that's an added benefit to the misting system that I never imagined. While I'm waiting for people to arrive today, I'm going to go in the greenhouse here and I need to prune my monkey ear tree back. So it's on the floor down here and the trees have grown up through the bench and you can see them up here sticking way up. So I got to prune them back. All right, here I go. So here's that shoot. So I want to prune it back fairly tight. There's a shoot coming out here so I could take it right back. I'll take it here. Off to there. Pull it through. Wow. Did that ever grow? That's a huge shoot. They do root from cuttings, but I have enough in here. I don't think I need any more. I'll prune this one back too. I'll prune it right back to here. There's another one shooting up through here. I'll prune it back to here. There's one coming off to the side here. I'll take it back to here. And there's a couple coming off of this one. So I'll take it back to here and here. And that gets that shortened back. That clears up a lot of bench space. And bench space will be important in the next couple of days because we're going below freezing. So all the tropicals will have to come into the greenhouse and the poly house. I am also working away at the plant room. I've got a bunch of roof beams here ready to go in. This is for my attic that goes up in the top corner of the roof. I'm a little late getting started working away at the plant room, but hopefully I'll get it done before the trees have to come in for the winter. The misting system just came on. How exciting, you can see it watering everything. My asparagus fern here is getting nicely watered, keeping those roots wet. And there it goes off. Benches are all dripping. Really cool. I'm going to make some room in the polyhouse too for more tropicals. I have some hardy trees in here that just don't need to be in here. I've got my royal oaks or my English oaks here. The only reason I kept them in the greenhouse was the squirrels will dig up the acorns, but the acorns, they've separated now. The trees are well underway, so they can go outside for the fall and stay outside from then on. I've got my boxwood forest here. These were collected this year, and I kept them in the greenhouse until they kind of rooted and recovered, and for some reason I've just never moved them. So they don't need to be in the greenhouse. I have a wisteria in here which has grown up to the ceiling. That doesn't need to be in here either, so I can move that out. There's another pot full of boxwoods there that can go outside. And that's about it. I think everything else is tropical in here. So I'll work away at that, clear up some more space in here, because every tropical has to be protected for Sunday night. I try and keep my tropical trees outside as long as possible. When the trees are outside, they get good sunlight. They don't have insect problems. They're just nice air circulation, and they stay quite healthy. When it gets really cool in temperature, they don't grow much, but they're not declining like sometimes when you bring them indoors. The health of the tree is really good outside. You bring it indoors, leaves start dropping off, you start getting insect problems, and the plant barely survives until spring. So I leave them outside as long as possible where they stay healthy. They're not growing much, but at least they're healthy, and then bring them in for the winter. So I can keep them in the greenhouses, the polyhouse and the greenhouse here, until the temperature gets down to about 5 degrees below freezing. So then it starts getting dicey. You know, you don't want to have your greenhouse freeze over. So that's when I bring them inside, and that's usually towards the end of October, and it depends a lot on the weather, but I'm hoping to keep them out for at least another month. I'm clearing up lots of space. I have the royal oaks out, the boxwoods are out. So I think I want to get the wisteria out also. It's growing really, really tall. Should have lots of energy for next year. So I'm going to prune it off short and then move it outside also. I think right here. That gets it nice and short. And I'll move it outside. The only reason I had the wisteria inside is that I had a cutting growing in the pot. The cutting was doing well in spring. It came out into leaf, and then it just slowly declined over the summer. So it didn't make it, but I still have the parent tree. So I can keep trying with some other cuttings in the future, maybe in the glass greenhouse with a misting system. That should grow cuttings quite easily. Here is a look at the amount of space I cleared up. So I have a lot of space on this end bench, and then a lot on the side bench here. So lots of room for more tropicals. So I'm quite sure I can fit them all in the two greenhouses, the polyhouse here and the glass greenhouse. So Manuela and Rino are over here, and we've got the giant mall ficus on the bench here, and it's pruning time. So
it's definitely larger than I thought it was.
Yeah, and there's some tough decisions to make, isn't there? You kind of got to decide. Like some of these have been pruned off already, haven't they?
Yes.
Like some of these.
Yep.
You can see that one probably died back, didn't it? I don't know if it's alive.
No, dead.
Dead, yeah. Yeah, they're always risky, these benjaminas. Hard pruning them. Sometimes you get good results, sometimes you don't.
That's
but
why I'm going to leave. Some growth.
some greenery. Okay.
So
It's always safe to do that, isn't it?
start off like that. See this big, huge mother here.
Do you want the loppers?
Well, there isn't any green until way up here.
Way up, yeah. That's the trouble.
Okay, I need the loppers for that one.
Yeah, you might have to take a risk on some of these, eh? Catch the branch if we can.
You
Okay, here we go.
film.
There we go.
Got it. Oh, watch the trees.
I think you may have got the tallest of these trees. That can all be, see the compost pile behind you here?
Yes.
You can just throw it straight on there.
I wonder if we could make another one out of it.
You could, they would root as cuttings.
Hey, Jay! Want some cuttings?
I was going to contact Connor about these, and my wife said, don't you dare contact Connor. He doesn't need any more trees. And I thought, you guys have a greenhouse, a big greenhouse, so I thought it'd be
Do you want gloves?
Good tree.
The sap is...
they really bleed, don't they?
Yes.
Well, that's good pruning. You're doing a good job. Yeah, if you have the space, the ideal situation is to chase the foliage back, is to prune it from the top, let the bottom stuff grow, and then just keep pruning it back further and further if you can, but that requires a lot of space.
Well, we have the space,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's good. Very few people do for something like this size. And you have a pickup truck to bring it home with, so that's not many people have that either.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to root a ficus when it's this old?
Yes,
You have?
I have, and they root. Yeah.
I usually do it in water.
Okay.
I've had luck with in water.
Yeah.
I seem to have more luck in water
Then in soil, eh?
Yeah.
I think if you put it in soil, you probably need bottom heat on the soil to keep it really warm.
Oh, like a heating mat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that
All right.
should work. I know that's how Mike in the club rooted all those tiger bark ficus cuttings. He had
Oh, okay.
a bottom heat mats, and they all rooted. They all did really well.
Okay.
Yeah, ficus you can pretty well root any size cutting as long as you have the right conditions. Like light, warmth, humidity.
Yeah, some of these have bare branches all the way to the top.
Yeah. Probably because they've, had very little pruning in them all. They've probably just, whatever shoots up near the skylights grows and just keeps going. Shades out the lower branches. Because some of them, not this one, but some of them had like all these fine branches in the bottom, but they all died off because they weren't getting light. But this one's pretty good.
I love the way some of the roots are twisting around.
Yeah, it's amazing, eh? Yeah, I like if you hit this,
Imagine what's
it
in
feels like it's concrete.
Yeah. As hard as...
I think it's,
Listen to that.
yeah, I think it's definitely severely pot
Well,
bound.
we'll have to cut it off.
Yeah. Okay. So is that like sawing through wood or?
Pretty well. Just get a little bit down here.
Okay. Well, I see dark soil. That's a good
Yes.
sign.
Oh, there is. That's okay. All washable.
Okay, I'm going to lift this up.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Take this away. There we go. Oh, there's still a piece on the bottom here. There. Well, that is not as bad as I imagined.
I was expecting to see more white, like solid, massive white
I
roots.
thought we'd see like big, woody,
Yeah.
thick roots down the
Actually,
side.
not that.
There's a lot of fine roots, isn't there?
Yes.
Well, maybe it has been repotted once in its life. You never know. The soil looks all right, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
lots of...
It's not decomposed. It looks like
Maybe they top
some type
dressed
of
it.
a moss. Well,
It is solid though, isn't it?
it is solid.
Like... But here, up here, it's not. You can...
Yes.
There's a bit of soft spots.
It might have been repotted, but they didn't remove any of the roots on the bottom, so they just kept getting harder and harder down there.
Yeah, maybe.
And re-rooted up here, because these look like fresher roots.
Yeah.
Whereas this is, you can knock on it.
Yeah. Hard as a rock at the bottom.
Come late spring, early summer, we'll give it the full Nigel treatment.
Cut it through here. Yeah.
Cut it down top and bottom.
Top and bottom.
And,
well, if you get a lot of foliage, like I would still try and chase the top down if you can, always keeping green foliage on it.
Right, right.
Try and avoid the hard prunes with no Hail Mary cuts. None of those.
Okay.
If it was any other ficus, you could just hack it and it would sprout no problem. But the benjaminas are a little more sensitive. Okay. They'll sometimes die back instead of sprouting out, which is strange. But
well, I'm pretty happy with this. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I think the tree's going to stay healthy over the winter, isn't it?
It's very healthy. I'm shocked that it's this healthy.
Yeah.
Look at these beautiful fine roots.
Yeah, they're in good shape. Lots of feeder roots off it and everything.
That is a perfect root.
Yeah.
On an old tree, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let me get the bigger pot and
all right.
Get her home.
Awesome. So we got the tree and we slipped it into a new pot here. So this is a bigger pot, so there's room to put some fresh soil around it. That should increase the health over the winter. Get it on the road to super health for the midsummer reduction. The sun is setting on another day. It was really nice having Manuela and Rino over today. He took home the big mall ficus with him. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. Yeah, we'll keep track of all these mall ficus. Follow them along in their journey to becoming bonsai in the future years. Here comes Matt. Hey Matt, how's it going?
Temperature's dropping in the shade.
It is getting cold, isn't it? Ooh.
Winter's on its way.
I know. Matt and I are working today on this stand that Matt made in 2022. So this color, I tried the root over temple ficus on it, and it was the color, the terracotta pot and this, they're kind of close together in tone anyway, brightness. So we were thinking of kind of darkening this stand up, and I was going to rub that roofing tar on it like I did with the stand here. This one here, kind of giving it that almost an antique finish on it. So we're just scraping it down, sanding it up, getting ready for the thin tar application. And not sure what it's going to look like, but you know, you don't know unless you try.
Don't know unless you try.
All right, Matt, here goes the reduction of the mall ficus. This is the smallest one, but it's also got pretty nice base on it, doesn't it? So you just keep clicking it and it'll just cut right through anything, don't they? And then you can just toss the branches. See that pile back there?
Yeah.
You just, if you can make it over there. There you go.
A couple cuttings.
Cuttings, yeah. Yeah, take as many cuttings as you want.
On top of here.
Yeah. Aren't those pruners great?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Tom.
Gotta get a set of these.
Yeah. So someone said those are made by Ironwood Tools in the States, and someone said there's some other brands, but they said they were fairly expensive, like about $70.
Handy though.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing else that cuts like that, is there?
Nicer to get the big lobbers out though. Right?
Yeah, and especially, yeah, the big loppers would do it. But especially if you have like hand trouble, like, you know, if your hand's sore or something, you know, you don't need a lot of strength and you can cut through some pretty big stuff.
You can get into the hard to reach spots as well.
Yeah. I find a very precise cut. You just line it up, click away, and it's cut. And such a clean cut too. See how it's bleeding?
Bleed, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. This cutter's heavy.
There it goes.
To it.
Yeah, that's heavy, isn't it?
Make it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they react. I hope that they sprout everywhere. They have too many branches come out and you have to choose which ones you keep.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's a nice front here, isn't it? Like right about here. There's a nice front for the planting. Yeah, even that one on the side looks kind of cool.
This one here?
Yeah.
Well, some of them I'll have to reposition maybe.
Yeah.
You know, and
Just
maybe
branches growing through the middle.
Through the middle and readjust them and just go home and see where the root system goes and play around with that and just let it grow.
Yeah.
And see
Let it
what
recover and well, that's awesome. All right, Matt, we are ready, all set up here to stain the table, the darker accent colors on it. Hopefully it'll go well. So here I go. All right, I'm going to start on the top surface. See how it goes. So this is just the thin roofing tar, Varsol. I've got a rag here to kind of smooth it out. So here I go. Getting a little beating from the wax, but not too much. I'm going to rub it with the towel. Okay, let's rub it down, see how it goes. You can always build it up in thin layers and kind of increase the intensity. Any change? Not too much, is there? Well, let's try on the front surface now. More on my brush here. Oozing out there a bit.
Maybe let it sit for a few minutes or,
Yeah,
or a minute or so.
soak in a little bit, eh?
Yeah.
I'll redo kind of the edges of the top here. Build that up a little darker. So I'll just kind of blend this in a bit. I don't know if that's okay. Oh, let me come out front. Different. All right, I'm going to try just doing a bit of a wipe. That seems to be working, doesn't it?
That's sort of what you're going for, yeah.
Yeah.
Rub the drips off. And it's all an experiment.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather go a little light at first and see how it's looking. Can't go lighter once you've gone dark, can you?
There's always sandpaper.
That's true. I guess yeah, that you can. That's true. I hadn't thought of that. Maybe a little in here.
Starting to get to what we were aiming for.
Is it? Can you notice it a little bit?
A
or-
little bit, yeah.
It's subtle at the moment, isn't
Subtle, but it's. You have to build it up.
it? Yeah.
I haven't done this side yet, have I?
Or is that the side I did first?
That was the side you did first.
Oh, okay.
I think too, sort of the way it looks now is what you're trying to go for. right?
Yeah.
Long term.
Kind of.
But you can, the more you add, the more it's going to look like that.
Yeah, you could theoretically keep going until it's black, couldn't you?
Yeah. but working it. Yeah. But I think you're gonna want to go with the grain though, unfortunately,
Okay,
because that's the.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if it makes a difference or not
You're right.
with this application, but
It felt better on the brush, that's for sure.
yeah, okay. So then
This
that'll
way
help
was like
get it in.
sanding. This way was nice and smooth.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good tip. So have I gone around all the four sides?
It looks like it, at least over here.
Oh, this side I have.
Does it?
Just
And then I
the
get
back
into
here.
here
Okay.
just to keep it consistent, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't on the back here yet.
And maybe too is not mix as much Varsol in with it to thicken
A
it
little
up.
thicker, yeah.
And maybe just do the edges with that or
Yeah.
something or whatever.
That's true. It's got a nice color to it. It's
Mhm.
very golden colors.
Very rich looking.
Yeah, that's the word.
And all you did was tar it.
I know, it's just weird.
Keep the birds away, we tar it, not feather it, right?
Yeah. And it also waterproofs it a bit.
Oh yeah.
So it, yeah.
I might have to get myself a can of that. It'll be our secret sauce.
Secret sauce. Ridiculous.
You know, I wonder if we just let that sit
Just
for
sit,
a little
eh?
bit, and then just sort of keep an eye on it for a moment or so.
Yeah, just make sure it doesn't drip or anything.
Yeah.
And it's looking good, isn't it?
Yes.
Maybe I got to fix the top a bit. It's a little streaky, but
And just
Maybe
see the brush for a second.
just dry brush it a bit, eh?
Yeah, let's see the brush for
Yeah.
a second.
You're a painter. You're a good painter.
Help with that. Just do it drag, right?
Oh yeah.
Just to make the lines more consistent.
Sure brings out the oak grain. That's nice, isn't it? And I guess, you know, once it's dry, I can get a rag with just a little bit of Varsol and just buff it to kind of,
Yeah.
if I feel it's too dark, eh?
In certain spots, yeah, just to lighten up those spots a bit and
Yeah.
maybe blend it in a bit.
Yeah. Oh, that's super. Cheapest finish you'll ever put on a table, that's for sure.
What is giving it a rich look?
Here's a look at it after kind of the first initial staining or antiquing. It's looking quite nice. It's a very rich color, darkening in some areas. It really makes the oak grain stand out. Very lovely. So we're going to let that kind of tack dry a bit and then give it a rub down. Matt and I went for lunch while the table was drying, and you can see it has a nice kind of matte finish to it. It looks really, really nice. I was thinking the terracotta pot, the one the root over temple ficus is in, I was wondering, you know, if we put the same tar on here, it might give it a nice finish and it might tone with the stand really nicely. So I was going to do a test on this terracotta pot, put it on, rub it down, and see how it looks. All right, here I go. So I've got this is a little thicker of a solution. So I'll paint it on and rub it off and see what happens. Ooh, that's very, very, very black. I'm actually going to use the cloth, kind of rub it. Well, it's looking pretty nice. I like the color. Maybe I've rubbed too much off there, but add a bit more. Just want to get the right look, that antique kind of wood-fired look to it, if possible. Now I may, as this kind of tacks dry, I'll clean up the drips a bit, but oh, I just put a big thumbprint in it. But I think it looks quite nice. I think it'll just help blend the pot in with the stand a bit so they have some similar tonal values. So now I have a bit of Varsol on the rag. I'm just going to try rubbing down the table a bit. See what it does. I don't have a whole lot of arsol on it, but let's see. Yeah, it just sort of lightens it up a bit at the edges and that. I don't know. What do you think? Did you like it better before? Or?
It gives it a different sheen to it. Try the top maybe.
Okay.
Right? Because it has those spots in it. I don't know how well that would work. Go with the green, right?
Okay.
That's what I would do.
You just do a subtle
Yeah.
white, eh?
Just to write the oil part of it off a bit.
Yeah.
And then you can always, if you want it darker, you go a little bit darker.
It's looking okay, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly evening it out.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever there was a buildup of the black, it's kind of taking it back a bit. Am I taking it all off?
It almost looks like you are in a way, but you can do another coat,
Yeah.
right? I would
Yeah, I can see
like
here.
the rest of it, yeah. So because the next batch you're gonna do less
Little.
less thinned out, maybe the tops
Yeah.
will be better for that.
Yeah. Does that look even? It's hard to tell in this light, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. It's a nice color, though, isn't it? It's gives it a real golden kind of rich color.
I wonder if you were to do another coat.
I think so.
And then that other coat, do it, almost very, very minimal thin Varsol on it.
Yeah.
And then it'll darken it.
Kind of let it dry a bit, and then
Or let
All
it
right.
dry a little less than
okay,
it did.
and then rub it down, eh? All right, let's try that. All right, here I go with the second coat of the fairly dark. Actually, very dark. It's black. Oh, there goes the other little pad on the bottom. Now this may also drip, so it shows kind of graduating at the top here. You can see the edges picked out there. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? Let's try the top here. I gotta get the black in all this, in all the cracks here. So I definitely wanted it black in all the little cracks.
To show.
I think it'll actually looks pretty cool. I think it will.
And then once you wipe it down,
Yeah. Okay.
once that sets in a bit more, then you can start
Yeah.
try to wipe that down a bit.
Yeah. I think once it gets a little tacky, eh?
Just blend it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like the dark in some of the spots. I think it looks really.
That front actually looks really good now.
Does it? Gives it a real ancient look, doesn't it? Well, what got me thinking in this is I remember reading in an old violin making book that in the old days they used to use tar as a varnish colorant. And I remember reading that thinking, who would use tar as a colorant? And then when I started using this on the plant room, I thought, oh, it looks really nice when you paint it over wood.
Two guys on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
That's who does it.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm going to start experimenting with different things.
Yeah.
They've used berries as red berries as ink or coloring for years.
Oh yeah. I think I got everything.
I think so.
Let's leave it at that. Clean my arm off here. Oh, that just made it worse.
I've used coffee beans in water and
Oh, really?
tea bags, just to color, little less a natural color, and then you put your clear coat over it. I've experimented with that.
Here is a look at the table with the second coat on, and it has some beautiful tones in there. It's just gorgeous. I think we're on the right track. I think we've just got to get it to look consistent and that. So we'll let this kind of tack dry and then come back and revisit it. It is much later in the day now. Matt has headed home with his mall ficus that he's going to call Molly Brown, which is a cool name. So I've let this latest coating of tar kind of tack up on the stand here. So now I'm going to kind of wipe it down a bit. But it's looking really good. I like the color of it. So I've just kind of got to even it out on top. Kind of highlight some of the edges a bit. But basically I'm liking the darker color. I think it's looking quite nice. The terracotta pot is looking really, really nice. Kind of really subtle shading on it. It really looks really nice, I think. Yeah, I like that. Get the excess off the top if I can without causing too much streaking or anything. That's looking better up top now. A little more of the wood color showing through. Less blotchy, but it still has that kind of antique look. Yeah, that's a nice finish on the top now. I like that. Yeah, very nice. Now, I'm wondering if I should rub a little more off these front surfaces. If they're too dark, even it out a bit. Like that. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I think it's looking awesome. Let's make sure there's no fingerprints. Nope, that's looking good. I'll put it in the sun now so you can see what it looks like with the sunshine on it. Here is a look at the table. There's not much sunlight around, so this is the only spot I could find here. You can see the rich kind of the color and the shading. Yeah, it looks like it's, 200 years old. It's amazing. The top looks really nice now too. Very happy with that. Yeah, it looks good all the way around. And you can't see much in the dark here, but yeah, very, very happy with it. So I'll let that dry, and then there may be a little, I can do a little sanding just to even highlight some edges more if I want. But I think it looks pretty good. Very, very nice. I'm dying to try out the tree on top of it, but I can't until it kind of dries thoroughly. So that is the antiquing with the black tar. Looks really, really cool, I think. Beautiful color. So all is quiet here in the bonsai zone. We are going down to freezing or slightly below tonight. So that means every tropical has to go in the heated greenhouse or the heated poly house tonight, or they'll die. So I've got to get busy. You can see the sun. It's getting pretty low. I think I've got another hour, maybe an hour and a half of light before it gets pitch black. So I'll be working away, getting everything tucked away in the greenhouses. Before I fill this greenhouse up on the floor with plants, I'm going to fill up my water supply here. So you can see this is how far down it's gone in one day. It was full this morning and it's gone down. So I would say it's about a third of one of these garbage can containers that it uses per day, which is pretty good. I could get 2, maybe 3 days out of this water supply. Here's a view of the table in the shadows here. So you can kind of see the color maybe a little more clearly. I might have to rub this down just a little bit here to bring it out as bright as the legs there, but it's pretty close. The top turned out really good. I've got just a bit of kind of blackening in the corners. Yeah, there could be some subtle kind of effects added later on, but basically it's pretty good. Very, very happy with the table. The test will be with the tree on top of it. It was a very busy evening. I got all the tropical trees in the greenhouses. I got all my trees watered. And that's it for tonight. So I'll show you inside the greenhouses. Here is the glass greenhouse. So you can see the floor is just covered with trees. Underneath the benches is full. The top of the benches is full. So yeah, a very full greenhouse, and it feels so nice and warm in here. I've got the heater on already. So that's all set for tonight. I refilled my water bucket back there. So I can, tomorrow morning turn the water on. I don't have to worry about it running out. So this greenhouse is all tucked away, ready for the cold tonight. Beautiful sky tonight. Let's head into the poly house now. Check out how full this one is. So here it is. So I got the benches quite full. Each side, there's still a little bit of space. And I got some trees on the floor. It's not packed in here, it's not too bad. Got the heater on, so everything should be good for tonight in here also. What a wonderful weekend having Manuela and Rino down. And then Matt on Sunday. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Time flew. Got this table looking really nice. Very happy with that. So that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.